So some wild shit happened last Sunday. I actually watched WrestleMania. And if you don't understand why that's so wild, I mean, wrestling's pretty popular. A lot of people fucking watch wrestling. You're a Dragon Ball fan. Like, every fucking Dragon Ball fan watches wrestling. Well, what made this, like, weird and wild for me is that, one, I've never actually watched a WrestleMania live before. And two, I haven't watched wrestling in well over 10 years. I dropped it around, like, it was like the Ruthless Aggression era of wrestling, like, after the Attitude Era. Like, after a few years after that, it ended. Pretty much, like, around the same time, a lot of people started dropping off of wrestling. And wrestling's popularity just kind of went on the decline in general. And, yeah, I just never really got, like, back into it. Like, I've always kind of very lightly kept my fingers on the pulse of what was going on. Like, oh, like, these are the wrestlers that are popular now. I just never cared. Never cared enough. And lately, over, like, the last couple of years, I've been like, oh, like, that looks like a cool dude, and that looks like a cool dude, and I'm hearing all these cool things about all these newer wrestlers, these up-and-comers, and I'm like, oh, man, like, is wrestling getting good again? And I kept thinking about getting back into it. I just never made the leap. And then I'm on Twitter the day of WrestleMania, and fucking Viz Media, of all things. By the way, sorry if I'm sound like dog shit right now. I've been sick for like a week, and I'm still like congested and phlegmy. So there I am, scrolling through Twitter, and like I said, like Viz Media of all fucking places is retweeting WrestleMania, and it's like one of the big matches, Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles. And I'm like, I know both of those guys. I've heard a lot of cool things about Shinsuke Nakamura, the king of strong style. And I'm like, I want to see that guy fight. I know who AJ Styles is. I remember him from TNA. He was fucking super dope back in the day. Yeah, I want to see that. And then I look a little bit more and I go, oh shit, Asuka versus Charlotte Flair for the women's title? Like, I know who Asuka is. She's like I see her like all over the goddamn internet. People just like, dude, fucking Asuka's dope. Anyone that talks about wrestling talks about like in the women's division, it's like Asuka's fucking dope. And then like Charlotte Flair, the legacy of goddamn Ric Flair. And I'm like, okay, I want to see this. I want to see this. So then I just I look over to my friend Eric, who is visiting, hanging out with us. Eric from Gigaboots, for those who watch Gigaboots, and Aggro. Like, I look over at them, I'm like, hey guys, you wanna watch WrestleMania? And they're like, huh, yeah, sure. So I go and I get a fucking, like, for context, these motherfuckers have never watched wrestling ever. They know nothing really of wrestling. One of them, like, Eric knew, like, they both knew of Asuka. They both knew of Asuka and Shinsuke Nakamura, and that's, like, the things that they were kind of really looking forward to. So, I get it. The WWE Network account, it was free this month, so we got to watch it free, so that was dope. And we started watching the pre-show, because the pre-show had just started, and we're watching, like, the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale, and that was a Battle Royale, alright. Yeah. Like, honestly, I'm starting to realize, like, why the Royal Rumble does, like, one guy at a time every couple of minutes, because when you just start off with a bunch of guys in the ring, it's just a bunch of guys doing until like you start clearing motherfuckers out of the ring, and once they got like half the guys out of the ring, then it started becoming way more interesting. I just remember having to explain gold dust to Aggro, because he's like, who the hell's this big gold motherfucker? I'm like, that's gold dust. And he's just like, the fuck? And I'm like, yeah, no, that guy's like well into, like, this guy's probably in his fucking 50s and he's still doing this, like, gay panic fucking glittery gold gimmick. He's amazing. He's goddamn gold dust. And he's still fucking going after all these years. By the way, gold dust is still a thing. Holy shit. Like, talk about some weird holdovers from, like, the 90s. Like, The Undertaker's still doing his fucking gimmick, and fucking Goldust is still doing his shit. Holy shit. And like this is kind of what I still want wrestling to be. Like, I want these motherfuckers. I want more inspiration from that shit. Where it's just like you look at a motherfucker and you can tell everyone apart because of just how ridiculous their goddamn outfits and gimmicks were. But I digress. You know, we're watching that, and I see, you know, Woken Matt Hardy. Now I know who fucking Matt Hardy is. I remember the Hardy Boys. I also know about the whole Broken Matt saga / Woken Matt saga. So I'm like, shit. Oh man, Woken Matt. That's dope. And then he fucking wins the Battle Royale. And I'm trying to like explain like Broken Matt Hardy to these guys. I'm like, holy shit, it's Matt Hardy, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, who? And I'm like, shit. So there I am trying to explain the Broken Matt saga. Well, first I'll try to explain their original role as the Hardy Boys. Like, oh yeah, like they were like one of the original high flyers. And fucking Broken Matt happened, and it was fucking glorious and weird, and I that's one of the few things that's made me want to get back into wrestling also, is shit like Broken Matt. Like, if wrestling as a whole were half as interesting as Broken Matt is, I would be instantly back into wrestling. I would just be all over that shit. I'm like, yeah, wrestling's fucking retarded and awesome again. But, you know, Broken Matt's its own thing, and, you know, he wins. It was fine. It was a good, like, there was some good spots there. Like, you know, like we were starting to really get into it. And we go and there's like a cruiserweight title. And at this point, we don't know who either of these motherfuckers are. So we're just like picking sides. Like, so we're just like, and we're just enjoying the matches. We have no clue who the fuck these guys are. We are appreciating the pure athleticism, the spots, the momentum of the matches. Like, you know, we're just getting into it. And then there's the actual Mania. Mania starts. And we're getting, what did it start with? The Intercontinental title. And it's Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins versus The Miz. I've heard of all of these guys. I know Finn Balor's like this young up-and-comer, does a lot of crazy monster makeup. Didn't do that for this, unfortunately, so I had to like look up. And it's like, this is what Finn Balor normally looks like, apparently. This is his weird, crazy-ass gimmick. Don't know why he didn't do it for Mania. And I was able to piece together that he's apparently been out of commission for a while. Then you have Seth Rollins, who I mostly just know him as the guy who retired Sting. And The Miz, who I just know is, I don't know, some Chad dude bro. And, like, we're watching that, and great fucking match. It's a great match. Like we're really getting into it. Like we've gone from we're not wrestling fans to oh shit, did you see when he did the thing and he fucking did the oh shit. Yeah. Great fucking just match. It was really great momentum, a lot of great spots, a lot of great athleticism from everyone involved. Except for maybe The Miz. I don't really care for like, and not because like I just called him Chad Dude Bro, but because like I feel like he is on the same level as like Finn Balor and Seth Rollins from what I've seen. Maybe that was just a bad Miz match, but yeah, he just didn't really do it for me. And then we get like, I was actually kind of offended that this early into the card this fucking match happens. Asuka versus Charlotte Flair, because obviously this is one of the big ones we're waiting for, and whew, oh my god. I was not prepared for how good this fucking match was. Just, like I said, once again, the athleticism, just the grit and determination, the counters, and just, it was fucking poetry in motion, this goddamn match. And, like I said, I've never seen either of these women wrestle. And in fact, back whenever I watched wrestling, women's wrestling was a gimmick. Here, women's wrestling has become actually goddamn legitimate. And, like, they don't have the Divas title anymore. No, they have a fucking women's championship title like it should have fucking been. You know, it's not fucking, like, you know, bedazzled with fucking pink rhinestones and shit. It's a legitimate fucking title for, like, legitimate goddamn champions. And fuck this match, dude. It just, like, not fuck this match, but fuck, bro, this match blew my mind. And we are just, like, on the edge of our seats. Just, like, holy shit, who's gonna win? Like, we're like talking about like who's gonna win this match? Do you think they're gonna give it to Asuka? Do you think they're gonna give it to Charlotte? Well, like, Charlotte is like the legacy of Ric Flair, and she's the champion, but Asuka has this undefeated streak. Do you think they're gonna, and we were even like talking about like maybe they're gonna maybe Asuka's gonna win the title, and then they're gonna feed her to Ronda Rousey. That's where she's gonna have her first big loss. Nope. Fucking Charlotte Flair wins. And it was, because we were talking about, it's like, man, if fucking Asuka loses, I'm going to be pissed. All of us were on Team Asuka for this. But by the end of that match, we were just like, yeah, I mean, I'd wish Asuka won, but fuck, man, Charlotte Flair earned that shit. She put on just a great fucking offense, a great fucking defense. Just, like I said, watching those two women wrestle was just fucking... That shit was some poetry in motion. It is beautiful. It is a great goddamn match. And I was just like, man, this is really setting the tone for this goddamn WrestleMania. Just out of the gate, you end up with a match this fucking good. Because like I said, the first two matches were, like, the first match was good. For a bunch of guys I didn't know jack shit about, good. For, like, a match with two women who I knew vaguely about... And I knew like their prestigious legacies, and just the fucking match those two put on was goddamn stellar. So I'm like a really good match out of the gate, and then this fucking stellar goddamn fucking women's title match, and then there's the U.S. title. So you have like Orton, Orton versus Jinder Mahal versus Bobby Roode versus Rusev. Okay, I don't know who the fuck Bobby Roode is. Sorry for any Bobby Roode fans out there. I've heard of Jinder Mahal, I've heard of Rusev, and of course I know Randy Orton. And for that, we were just kind of we didn't none of us really had like a horse in this race. Kind of like the last one, we were all Team Asuka. We all just kind of sided with Jinder Mahal because we were like. Yeah, like he just came out in like that crushed blue fucking velvet coat with the tassels and the fucking turban. I said for like the first time in my life, I'm gonna show racial pride. I'm gonna support the Indian guy. That was fun, and that was a good match. I'm trying to remember who won. I think that actually was Jinder Mahal that won that match, if I remember correctly. But yeah, good match. Not a great match. Not as But, like, yeah, I like the fact that it's, like, a four-way threat match that, that, like, anybody could, like, you know, win that. The same thing with the Intercontinental, like, three-way title, with that triple threat, where it's just, like, you know, anybody could get tagged. So I'm sitting there trying to explain this shit to the guys. I'm like, all right, because of the nature of this match, you don't actually have to pin the champion to win the title. And Aggro was just like, what? I had to, like, really explain that shit to him. And... yeah, really, really good match. You know, definitely not on the fucking same level as Asuka versus Charlotte. That's gonna be a thing. Yeah, man, I'm also really pissed that Asuka versus Charlotte happened so early, because that was the fucking 4-star match of the goddamn night. That was just holy fucking shit. Because, like, when I saw that, I'm like, oh my god, is wrestling good again, guys? Do I like wrestling? Holy shit! And I like that match. There are matches, I do like other matches in this pay-per-view, but like fucking Asuka versus Charlotte Flair gave me the impression that this is what wrestling is like now. And then the rest of the matches just, all of them fall short. And so you have, like I said, that U.S. title match. It's a good match. Like, yeah, we were still getting into it. We're still having a good time. Then we get into the Ronda Rousey gimmick match is what I'm just gonna... It's like, it's like Ronda Rousey and... Kurt Angle. There we go. Yeah, it was Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle versus Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. And we're immediately, like, making jokes about this. Like, okay, so the Olympic gold medalist and the fucking UFC former champion, women's champion, versus a stage wrestler and the owner of the WWE, or co-owner or manager, whatever the fuck she is, you know, daughter of the owner. It's like, oh my god, she's like, they're gonna fucking destroy them. And that was a great goddamn match, also. Like, Kurt Angle is still bringing his A game. Triple H still bringing... Fucking Stephanie McMahon. Like, I love the way they presented this match and where, like, Stephanie was... Ronda wasn't, like, putting Stephanie over in the way that, like, oh, man, like, Stephanie's so badass and she's really kicking Ronda's ass. Like, no, like they put Stephanie over in the way of, this woman really can't wrestle, but she is holding her own to the best of her abilities and not getting fucking destroyed. And, yeah, like, that was just a good match. I was surprised. I was shocked by how fucking good that match was. And we were waiting for, like Ronda versus Triple H, Ronda versus Triple H, Ronda versus Triple H, and they fucking do it. It's good. She fucking wrecks shit on Triple H. Fucking Kurt Angle's in top goddamn form. Like, I used to not like Kurt Angle because he was a heel and I was a teenager, so of course I didn't fucking like Kurt Angle. But I've really come to appreciate, like, that man's just pure technique and athleticism and just just the skill that man has in the ring. And Triple H, he's great also. Like I said, like, the only non-wrestler there, like, the only non-professional there is, Ronda Rousey. She's a UFC fighter, but she's not, she's not a wrestler. And you have Stephanie McMahon, who just isn't a fighter at all. And you would think, like, this match could be terrible. It's fucking awesome. Like, we were just in the moment. Once again, like very similar to the Asuka versus Charlotte Flair match, we were just in the fucking moment. Like, yeah, oh shit, they did this, and then they did this. And we're just like every fucking spot, we're just like, yeah, woo! We're getting into this shit. We're just riding that goddamn hype train. And this is kind of where WrestleMania starts falling off for me. And I think for all of us. Because we get, like, the SmackDown tag titles. And that is just a one-sided raffle stomp. It was fine. It was perfectly serviceable match. But it was a one-sided raffle stomp. And then we get Cena versus Taker. And Cena versus Taker is... first off, they keep teasing it. They're teasing it and teasing it and teasing it and teasing it. And we're, like, waiting for it. Like, is Taker going to show up? Are they going to do this? Because we all knew that Taker retired. We all knew that. And it's like, are they actually going to bring back Taker? And my friends are, like, theorizing, like, maybe it's going to be, like, sort of legacy replacement thing. Like, they're going to have, like, a new Undertaker. And I'm like, dude, there's no way in hell they're going to fucking replace the Undertaker. Like, the Undertaker is the Undertaker. You can't just replace him. And we're waiting, and we're waiting for this fucking gimmick. And some asshole in a fucking guitar comes out, like, straight out of a fucking Starbucks with his fucking scarf and his hipster ass fucking playing guitar. It's fucking insufferable. And then John Cena comes out and whips that guy's ass. And then Taker shows up. And by this point, I didn't give a shit. I mean, like, I was excited again, like, once Taker actually... I'm like, oh shit, Taker's back! He's actually back! I'm gonna get to see fucking Undertaker wrestle! This is gonna be fucking dope! Yeah! Is how I was feeling. But, just the build-up for it. And it's a fine match, Taker isn't in, like, the best shape these days, but, like, he was in good shape. He put on a solid match. And John Cena put on a solid match. There's a lot of spots that you would expect to see from, like, those two guys. And it was fine. It was a good match. Unfortunately, after, like, that Ronda Rousey match, and, that US title match, and Asuka, and the Intercontinental title match, like, those matches are... That is a solid lineup of fucking matches. And then, like I said, you break the momentum with this one-sided raffle stomp with the SmackDown tag title. Then you have this Cena versus Taker match where these, one, if not both of these guys are not in their prime anymore. So, it's not quite as good as it could be. And then you have, like, the Daniel Bryan match. And I was looking forward to this, because we knew who Daniel Bryan was, vaguely. You know, we understood the, yes, yes, yes! We know who he is. And we knew, I at very least knew his story about being injured, not being allowed to wrestle, and this is his big return. And I explained that shit to the guys. So we're looking forward to it. Daniel Bryan puts on a fucking amazing match. Like, I couldn't give a shit about, like, anyone else involved in that match. The Daniel Bryan aspect of that match is fucking stellar. That man, oh my god. Like, the mere fact that, like, he has not wrestled in, what, like 2 years now, I think? I don't know. He hasn't wrestled for quite a while. And he comes back, his first fucking match, and he is just tearing it the fuck up. Just being a goddamn champion. This fucking guy, goddamn rules. Like I went from being, yeah, Daniel Bryan, he's a cool guy I've heard of, or a guy that's supposedly cool that I've heard of, to, fuck, bro, Daniel Bryan's a fucking shit. Oh, fuck. Yeah, that Daniel Bryan match, the Daniel Bryan part of it's fucking great. Like, that tag team that they were up against, they're fine, I guess. You know, was it Kevin Owens and someone, Sami Zayn, I think? And then you had Shane O'Mac being Shane O'Mac. You know, definitely a man past his prime. Like, the fact that he still could do, like, the turnbuckle kick shit, I'm like, god damn, dude. Like, the air that fucking man catches is insane. But the real star of that match was goddamn Daniel Bryan. Like, he just fucking slaughters it. Like, he is just so goddamn good. And then we get Nia Jax versus Alexa Bliss. And at this rate, we have been watching wrestling now for 5 hours. So, you know, at this point, you know, we're starting to get a little fatigued. We're getting tired. Fucking Aggro is like, you know, both Aggro like has to like work in the morning. Eric is getting tired, so Eric goes home, and Aggro's just like, fuck, I gotta go to bed. So now it's just me. It's just me watching this. And I'm watching Nia Jax versus Alexa Bliss, and I get this, it's just like a history kind of match where it's just like, oh, like these two people with this kind of, you know, history between them and blah, 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 and this is like the culmination of all this shit, and it's man, that should have been much earlier. Like, that should have been near the beginning, and like Asuka and Charlotte Flair should have been in its slot. Because that match is nowhere near as good as because it's just not like that great of a match. I mean, you have like I don't know, just the talent of those two wrestlers just does not impress me at all. Like Alexa Bliss comes off as, by the way, for reference, I have no context for either one of these people, but that hasn't stopped me from enjoying a lot of these other matches. Like, I have heard their names, mostly because I watched Little Karibo's The Mark Remark. And, like, Alexa Bliss just kind of comes off as your average diva wrestler. Like, you know, she's a wrestler, but, like, she's not, like, specifically noteworthy. She's just, like, one of the hot girls, I guess. And then you have Nia Jax, who I feel is supposed to be, like, almost like the equivalent of, like the Big Show for, like, women's wrestling. And she's, honestly, guys, that's not terrible. She just comes off as, like, kind of a sluggish fat chick. And, like, I've never been a fan of, like the big chunky wrestlers in general. Like Nia Jax, she is, like, tall and imposing of a figure, I guess, in the women's division. But she just kind of comes off as slow and lumbering and not that impressive in the ring. And at least based off of this one match. And this is WrestleMania. If you're going to put on your fucking best show, it should be a goddamn WrestleMania. And yeah, like I feel like she's supposed to be some sort of like empowerment, body positive kind of wrestler where it's just like, oh, she's a fat chick, but she's like, you know, she's like, you know, this role model to fat chicks around the world, and that's fine. I'd rather a good wrestler, though. Just saying. So yeah, like, I just didn't care for that match at all. Like, their history, I'm sure, like, you know, storyline-wise is fine. Like, you know, and, like, it's cathartic in that way. But just coming in as a fresh-eyed viewer and seeing all these amazing matches, and then that happens, and I'm like, really? That's what we're gonna follow that up? Fine. And then Shinsuke versus AJ. Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles, and like I said, by this point, I'm by myself. And Eric has left, Aggro has gone to bed, so I'm like, alright. And it is a good match. Unfortunately, it's just a good match. Like I was really expecting some top-tier athleticism from these guys, and it's fine. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't like a bad match. It wasn't a bad match. It's just, I was so hyped up for this. I set my expectations so high, especially after, like I said, that Asuka versus Charlotte fight. Like Asuka versus Charlotte and AJ versus Shinsuke were the two fucking matches that I was really, really looking forward to. And Asuka versus Charlotte fucking delivers like 110%. And you have Shinsuke versus AJ, and it was fine. It was good. It was above average. And I was disappointed by that. It was an okay match. It was fine. That's all I can really say, is that it was a fine match. And by this point, I'm like, okay. Oh, God. Like, I'm fucking exhausted with watching wrestling now. And I'm like, we're on the last match, right? It's Brock Lesnar versus fucking Roman Reigns, right? Oh no, we need to do the other tag title for Raw. I don't care. I don't care. You blew your momentum. God damn it. So I just stopped. I stopped, and I even went to Twitter afterwards. I'm like, even though like I stopped watching WrestleMania early, I still really enjoyed what I saw, and that I had plans on going back and watching WrestleMania or watching those last two matches, and then I didn't. I didn't care enough. Like, apparently, like, some little kid won the tag title with some big beardo motherfucker who kind of looks like Aggro. And then Brock Lesnar beats Roman Reigns. Alright. And I don't really care enough to see those matches. Like, I don't really care about, like, the gimmick of, oh, like, this big beardo motherfucker won a tag title with, like, a little kid. And then, because what the hell is that doing at WrestleMania? Like, that should be, like, a Raw thing. Like, that should be, like, an episode of Raw. And, yeah. Don't know why the hell they did it like that. And you have Brock versus Roman Reigns. And these big, just giant brick shit houses of men. And I didn't care enough. I just didn't care enough to, like, watch that match. So I just didn't watch that match. So yeah, that was my WrestleMania experience. And like I said, it was mostly good. I just feel like it was booked poorly. Like, I feel like a lot of these matches should have been shuffled around. Like, you know, put Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss earlier in the goddamn card. Save Asuka and Charlotte, which you know is going to be a titanically awesome fucking match, and put that a little bit later. You know, it's just like the order in which things are booked, not necessarily the booking themselves that I have a problem with. It is just because you need to start off with some of, like, you know, your less impressive matches, and then build the momentum and just get us more and more and more hype. Yes, you can have peaks and valleys, but like when you have like a super high peak and then it's just kind of like, oh, yeah, because like I said, that Ronda Rousey match, fucking awesome. I love that match. That was a great fucking match. And then it's followed by this one-sided Raffle Stomp tag team title match, and I'm like, oh. And then it's followed by this long, drawn-out thing with the fucking Undertaker for an okay Taker versus Cena match. And, like, there you go. You just killed your momentum. And you have a Daniel Bryan match, and that's dope, but then you have, like, this Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss match, and it's just fine, I guess. It's serviceable. It was a match. So, yeah, like, the order really needed to be shuffled around with some of these matches to really kind of build that momentum, build the hype, keep some of the bigger matches for the later part of the show, so that way you're getting more and more excited. You know, like having something like the Intercontinental title and the U.S. title like earlier on, totally good. I feel like those should have been broken up with like the tag matches. Get like one tag match out of the way, do like the Intercontinental title, do another tag match, do like the US title, and then from there you can start, like do Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax, and then go on from there. Like that probably would have worked a hell of a lot better. Did this WrestleMania get me back into wrestling? Kinda, sorta, maybe. I'm definitely interested in watching some more wrestling. I watched the follow-up Raw, haven't seen the follow-up SmackDown, and Raw was fine, I guess. Like, I could have... Was there always so little wrestling in wrestling? Because I think there was, like, 3 matches, and the rest of it was guys just talking shit. And I feel like back when I watched wrestling, there was at least a little bit more wrestling going on. Maybe I don't remember, because, like, maybe I don't. And, like, a couple of those matches were, like, really goddamn short. Like they brought in some guy, like, No Way Jose, and he just has, like, this one-sided raffle stomp match. He just jobs a motherfucker out and then leaves. And I'm like, oh, okay. So, yeah. Following up WrestleMania, I didn't think that was that good. Probably, like, my favorite thing of that follow-up was the main event of that episode of Raw. And then you also had the stuff with the Hardys, like where like Jeff and Matt cross paths, and they're like, glorious, wonderful, and they're doing that whole shit, and deleted, like, fuck, I almost knocked my goddamn microphone off by the cable. So yeah, it was fine. That WrestleMania or that Raw was fine. Like I said, I don't think I'm going to be like a diehard wrestling fan again, but I definitely am interested in going through like the WWE Network and watching some Asuka matches, watching some Shinsuke Nakamura matches, watching some Finn Balor matches, and just kind of reacquainting myself with wrestling in general, and just kind of watching some dope matches. Also, I really need to watch John Cena versus Brock Lesnar, where he just takes 16 suplexes, because that just sounds dope. But yeah, that was my experience watching. Fuck! I can't speak now. Oh my god! I watched WrestleMania. It was pretty alright and really dope at times. I'll probably watch it again next year. Zeon out.